Speaking of books, this was just such a nice segue. I've read a book.
What book did you read?
So you know how a couple of episodes ago we talked about how I was getting back into reading?
Yeah.
So that episode I was talking about Carrie and Stephen King and all that sort of stuff. To be fair, this was a reread for me, but after reading Carrie and that being Stephen King's first book, I wanted to read Chuck Palahniuk's first book, which is Fight Club.
Oh, okay. So you've reread Fight Club?
Yeah, I just wanted to compare like these debut novels from two authors that I quite respect.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, like how Chuck Palahniuk's writing style is just so refreshing.
Yeah.
He has this very like minimalist writing technique.
Yeah, I've definitely read Fight Club, but it was years ago.
He uses like quite short sentences. Now and again, he'll do like repetition. It basically, you take like a sentence and you just strip away all of the like flowery descriptive stuff, and you get to like the core essence of what is trying to be said.
Yeah.
And it's a really, like when I was a teenager, I went through his books like crazy fast because I was just obsessed with this writing style.
Fair enough.
Just because it's very different, I think, to what you would, if you read a lot, what you'd be typically used to.
Yeah. I do remember it I do get what you're saying, because I sort of vaguely remember it being like that.
Yeah, I also am a big fan of the film.
How do they deal with because some of the aspects in the film, there's like all the cool, once you know what's happening in the film.
Yeah.
There's all that stuff where like if you go back and watch it, certain scenes there are like,
oh right, there is a brilliant example of that in the book.
Go on.
Where the very first time he meets Tyler Durden,
yeah,
something is described, and then it's literally written, I know this because Tyler knows this.
Got you. Yeah, I think I do remember stuff like that.
Yeah, when you like read it knowing that, it's just so
obvious.
well done. But obviously this is a spoiler-free review, so no twists, no spoils.
Nothing happens in Fight Club.
It's good. Also, the edition I had featured an afterword that was written, which was also really interesting, which was just him kind of talking about how kind of the effect that Fight Club has had in just like the world.
Does he talk about the fact that, because I was listening to something the other day where they were talking about Fight Club and how it's one of those films that the point of the film is missed by the people who love it the most, which is that sort of bro culture of like, I want to be in a fight club and beat the shit out of people. And you're like, oh, you think this film's for you?
Yeah, no, that is touched upon.
Okay.
Also, I was wondering, you know, at the moment, like on Twitter and stuff, snowflake is used as a way of like a derogatory term for people when they're like sensitive about issues or whatever. They're like, oh, don't be a snowflake, that sort of thing. Yeah. Was that used before Fight Club? Because there's that bit of dialogue in Fight Club that's like, you are not a unique and brilliant snowflake, blah blah blah. Right?
I think it was used before Fight Club.
Yeah, I was just wondered, like, now it's being used a lot.
Yeah.
If that's where it came from, or if it came from somewhere else.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know whether it is Fight Club that has inspired the current use of it.
But anyway, the book is really good. Even if you've seen the film. I know in the past, like, I was obsessed with the Lord of the Rings films, and then when I tried to read the books, I really struggled, because I was just like, I can anticipate what's happening on the next page, and the only time I really got into the books was any time it diverted away from the films.
The Tom Bombadil stuff?
Yeah, like, I just whizzed through that chapter, and then it just got back. I was literally reading, like, a page a day, because I was struggling so much with it.
Yeah, see, I think I read all three in between film 1 and 2.
Right, got you.
So that made it easier, because I was like, oh, cool. Or maybe I think I read book 2 in between. I don't know. Yeah. I think I might have waited till film 3 had come out to finish the series, but...
Fair enough. My point being, like, with Fight Club, it doesn't matter if you're familiar with the film.
Doesn't it end differently?
It does. Yes. Yeah, it ends very differently. And again, I think with the book, the most impressive part of it is not just the narrative, but it is the way it is presented. So even if you're familiar with the film, it's still just great to read. There's lines in it that are just excellent. I think just like one line which will be brilliant, which is stuff like on a long enough timescale, the life expectancy of everyone falls to 0. I'm getting that wrong, but there's lines like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that are just really memorable.
Fair enough. Out of 5?
4 out of 5.
Very good.
Really good book.
Speaking of books, Liam.
Yep. You've got American Psycho, haven't you?
I haven't finished it.
You said you would.
Move on.
You said you would. Bloody Gibbo waiting impatiently. I feel so sorry for Gibbo.
I mean, at this point, he probably doesn't care anymore. Gibbo,
maybe he'll tweet us.
Has he? I keep asking people to tweet at me and tell me why I should finish this goddamn book, and no one is.
You should finish it because it's taken you this long now. It should be. It should be like a. You know how I get with my games and stuff, and I'm like, if I've invested X amount of time, I need to finish it.
But the thing is, I haven't invested X amount of time.
Yeah, well, just finish it then.
Normal amount of time.
Just finish it.
Here's the thing. Okay, I was thinking about this the other day, right? Because I was thinking yesterday. I think I was like, oh my god, I still haven't finished American Psycho, and I did say I'd finish it. There are 2 books.
Yeah.
In my life that I have not finished.
Yeah.
And one of them I went back and finished. So that literally means the only.
What's the other book?
It was I can't remember the name of it. It was some like dude from England who was like the best fencer.
Oh god!
And he travels to Japan because
he's
heard about. It's honestly, it gets better, but at the beginning it was very long and drawn out, and there was this whole confusing love story going on in it that was sort of a bit shit.
Yeah. And
then they played a very lame card in that love story and sort of ruined it.
Anyway, do you honestly feel like American Psycho belongs in that category of books you haven't finished? That sound bad?
I think it's probably not a bad book. I don't think it's my kind of book at all.
Just finish it then.
But that's not a good reason to finish it.
Yeah, you just said you don't think it's a bad book, so on that basis, finish it.
It's bad for me. I'm not saying it's a bad book for the world. I don't think everyone would hate it because they clearly don't. I do.
I still can't quite figure out what your issue with the book is, because I know you have issues with like you can see what they're trying to do and where they're going with it.
It's not even that. It's just that they're doing the same thing. The whole book is literally just the same thing happening. I don't know. Like I've said before, I don't know whether I'm somehow just managed to time it so poorly that I'm like about to hit the escalation of it.
Possibly.
Literally,
do you know how you'd find out?
The entire first half of the book is the same thing for half the book.
There's only one way to find out.
I'm just worried that I'm going to finish it and be like, what a shit book, and then everyone's going to be annoyed at me again.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't. I've had film reviews. So I was like, I didn't like that very much, and then
but no one cares about your film reviews because you just sort of drone on.
Some people care, but not many.
That was really mean. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.